Hey guys, I wanted to make a video here to kind of share something with you guys that could be in the realm of possibility for some people listening to this. I want to share this YouTube channel called Salamandrin, and the reason why I want to share this YouTube channel is because this YouTube channel here was at one point in time a huge YouTube channel. We're talking about like insanely large. And when I say insanely large, this was about 5, 6, 7 years ago. This channel used to rake in like an average view count of like 800 to a million, 800K, or maybe even 700K to like a million views a video. I mean, there's just so many videos that had that size, and the audience was just crazy, like crazy strong audience, super powerful, and you could see here that the person who is uploading is actually relatively consistent, and their past few videos are pretty decent. I mean, like 80K, 17K, 60K, 79K, 50K, 40K. Let's see if, like, relatively decent. He has multiple YouTube channels as well. But with that being said, the reason why I want to make this video, I know people listening to this are not YouTubers, but you can take this same knowledge and apply it to your blog and kind of understand where I'm coming from with this, is that every business has a point where it peaks, right? And you have the choice to keep pushing in that business that when it peaks, and after it dies down, after that peak dies down, you can keep continually pushing and attempt to revive to that peak and keep going, or you can go ahead and diversify and create multiple different platforms for yourself, so you don't have to necessarily rely or hope or even be delusional about a new peak that comes up. The reason why I say this is because for a certain audience, right, when you have an audience for your blog, it does not have to be YouTube. I'm specifically talking about blogging, like written content. For example, my blog, let me actually pull this up, howtoboosttestosterone.org, right? It's going to come in a point in time where, based on the work we do, and after we stop working, the amount of traffic we're going to receive is going to keep going up and up and up and up, and eventually it's going to peak. Let's just say for the fun of it, the peak is at 50,000 views a month, which is nothing crazy, but it's a good number. It's, compared to most people out there, it's very, very good. It's not insane, but let's just say 50,000, okay? Once it hits that number, or if it hits that peak, eventually slowly, maybe 2 years down the road, it could be maybe 1/10 of that number. It might be 5K. And that 5K over time, maybe 2 years, 3 years after that peak, like I said, is what it will consistently get. As a business person, you have to logically think that the most important thing I should have done during the peak is built other things to rely on versus this one asset. This is one of the many, many reasons why I'm very, very strongly believing in the concept of diversifying and creating more than one blog. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're a beginner listening to this, you don't even have your first blog up, and it's not generating any traffic, don't go out there and create 4, 5, 6 blogs and think that you're doing good for yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot, because you need to learn how to build that first one. But with that being said, I wanted to give this example because this guy used to do literally a million views a video, and I can actually show you here. Let's go to the most popular videos. This one, 5.4 million views, 3.3. Let's just do regular life videos. Like this one has 1.5 million views, 1.6 million views, 1.4, 1.2, 1.3, 1.3, 1.5, 1.2, 1.1, 1 million, and this is just literally him sitting down talking. 1 million, 1.1 million, 907,000, 912,000, and the list goes on. I mean, I just scrolled through 50 videos, and it's still at 900,000, 868,000, 869,000, 787,000. Maybe we're at 100 videos so far, and it's still at 700,000, 653. My point here is that now this guy's smart. He has all kinds of different businesses and all kinds of different things. But the reason why I'm telling you guys is because some of you guys are beginners, and you're going to go through the same thing that I had to go through. And when you build that very first business and it's at its peak and it's doing great, you're going to think that that's forever, and it's not. when something is at its peak, yes, you have to ride the wave, but you also have to plan for the future, because you have to understand it's not going to exist forever. That's just the reality. So what you need to do is you need to diversify, and you need to diversify in a controllable way. And what that does is you already have the knowledge to build something, so you build more of it in different avenues. Meaning, if you know how to create a blog and you generate traffic and you know what you're doing, and that blog is doing very, very well, as it's growing and things are not too stressful for you, you create another. You set it up, you start making money from it as well. Because what happens is when you do this over time, asset after asset after asset after asset, there's going to come a point in time where you have essentially grew way past those peaks and now into a trough. And effectively, blogs are not peaking anymore, but that's okay. Because all the income you acquire through all the diversified income is myriads more than those peaked blogged incomes. And I'll give you an example. If somebody's working really, really hard in their business, they take a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then finally they reach what they think is amazing. Let's say they make their first 10K a month, 15K a month. And they keep going. And they hold that off for a little while. And they're maybe making 10 to 15K a month. They're not going to keep doing that forever in that business. The audience eventually is going to capsize. You're going to reach its limit, effectively. Or the audience that you are reaching has reached this limit specifically for you because you share the audience with other competitors, right? You're not going to be able to, the influx of new people in that audience is not going to be enough for your need, right? So what you need to do is you need to go out there and create other niche sites. And eventually that guy who's making 10 to 15K could step off the gas off that 10 to 15K site and then start a different website. It starts making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8K. And then you have the other website maybe making 4, 5, 6K. Then you have another site making 2K, another site making $500, another site making 4K, another site making 6K, etc. And each niche is different because it can reach a different audience and it has the potential to make different money depending on the cost of the products, etc. But that's kind of how it should be. And when you add up all the income that you'll make with the diversified sites, it will be loads more than you've ever made in that amazing month that you had from one site. And like I said, the reason why I say this is because you have people who finally made it, who finally built a blog, who finally built a business that they can be proud of. And when I say business, we're not talking about construction businesses and real world businesses. We're talking about the virtual world. We're talking about audiences and digital stuff and all these kind of things, these blogs, right? When you do that, right, you're going to, like I said, reach a certain point in time. But if you didn't diversify and you kept trying to push this asset, you're going to realize that I'm pushing, but I'm not getting anywhere. And you're going to then have to, and you're going to be forced to start another blog in a different niche. But the tragedy is starting that other niche blog while your main one is dying down, it's a very stressful situation. And you would not want to deal with that stress. And you would rather not deal with that stress, especially after you've quote-unquote made it. So what is the best thing you could do? If you're experiencing this and you're doing well, it's time to start working on another one. It's time to start building. It's time to start doing well in other industries so that by the time your good blog slowly starts to become normalized and dies down. And once again, some people are thinking this dying down concept is a bad thing. This happens normally. Not all blogs can normally maintain its peak level. In fact, most of them cannot. You look at, for example, bodybuilding.com. Or let's not even look at bodybuilding.com. Let's look at World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft. It's a video game. World of Warcraft, I think in the year I don't know when it reached its peak, but it was a few years ago. But they've created other businesses, other games in the process, so that once this thing slowly takes a dive, and when I say take a dive, people think I'm saying this in a bad way or exaggerating or something. Like, as it slowly takes a decrease in users and slowly makes less money, it doesn't have to be drastic, just as it slowly happens, there are other businesses that will help fuel the deficit and make even more money, right? So that's my kind of point behind this. And also the beauty behind this is it mixes things up. You don't want to have to sit here and work on a business every single day. I like to work on businesses that have a trend upward, not downward. And what happens is I can build a business. I can go hard on that business. Let's say I create 90 blogs and I have products, and let's just say the blog makes $4,000 a month. Great. Let's say its peak is naturally $8,000. I can keep taking that $4,000 for the next 4 or 5 years without having to do any work to it. Meanwhile, I have now an abundance amount of time where I can work on other blogs to go make 500, 1,000, 2,000, 400, 500, because the room or the threshold or the imaginary ceiling for my effort is much, much greater as opposed to the same blog. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm trying to, hopefully I can articulate myself well enough for you guys to understand where I'm coming from, and more importantly, so I can depict to you the importance of this message here. And it's a great feeling when you're successful. And majority of the time, especially if it's your first few ventures, most people don't think about those bad days because it seems so far away. But I'm telling you, if you don't keep working towards something, eventually you're going to die. You're going to go backwards. And I'm telling you, the worst thing to do is to have to build something new when your businesses are dying. That's the worst thing. You want to be in a position where as your business is growing and reaching its highest stages, that's when you want to work on the other businesses. Not when it's too late, because then you're stressing yourself out. You're not truly living a good lifestyle. And that's just, generally my opinion, but obviously everybody has their own choices, their own opinions. You make what you think of it. And just realize the pure fact that no business, no matter how great it is, will have a peak forever. Look at Tesla. Tesla peaked out a few years ago. It's going downhill a little bit. Not downhill. People think when I say downhill, they're going out of business or going bankrupt. Not going bankrupt, but they're not doing as good as they used to be. And that's a whole bunch of different indicators or reasons as to why that is. But who knows? They might reach another peak in the future. But even Elon Musk has different businesses. He's got SpaceX. He's got Tesla. He's got Neuralink. He's got that thing that, what is it called? The Boring Company. He's got so many different things. Investors, so many different things that play a role. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. And hopefully this video created an impact. I'll see you soon. Peace out. Bye.